And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals. Los grand finales here of the 2025 RSL Rival StarCraft League playoffs co-stream. We have made it here. We have our top two players of the RSL of the year. We have two Protosses. We have herO and Classic facing off in a best of 7. We just wrapped up with the third place match. Rainer has claimed third place. He has that bronze placement here in this tournament. Zan has 4th place, but now it all comes down to 2 remaining Protoss players. Comes down to Classic, comes down to herO. Let's go. Let us go. We have our final 2 players. As a reminder, this is going to be best of 7. Best of 7 is ahead of us, of course, and we'll see. We'll see who can claim it. I'm going to be leaning more towards herO here in this finals, but Classic and herO, they often trade back and forth, and we have seen Classic beat herO before. We've seen herO beat Classic. They often do trade, and we expect a back and forth. We expect a short series. I will say that. Even if this goes all the way to the ace match, even if this goes the distance all the way to game 7, I expect it to still be a short series overall, because I expect to see hyper aggression, cheese, all-ins, proxies, very in the face of each other. Classic and herO, I love casting the play PvP because it is the most chaotic PvP you'll ever get, more so than if Max was involved or Zan was involved. Classic and herO, they get down and dirty. It's beautiful. They're both animals. They're animals, baby. They're animals. Aye. So we are getting ready here for that final series. I hope you're all ready in the chat. Of course, it's been a very intense weekend of StarCraft. If you missed out, yesterday we had like a 8 to 9 hour cast. Like it was a very long stream. So yesterday we were live with day 1. Today we've been live for 6 hours already, and we expect this to be maybe potentially another 2 hours on top of that to wrap up the event and to crown our champion. Oh boy, here we go. Getting there. Otherwise, as a reminder, when it comes to Sparkling Tunic Cup, STC is typically on Sundays, but we have moved to Tuesday because we didn't want to clash with this event with the RSL. So didn't want to clash. Have since moved it over. This is tough to predict, for sure. Like I still lean towards herO here, but again, like we have seen Classic take to win before. I hope that this goes to like a game 5, a game 6, maybe even a game 7. That's what we want.
Both so strong in it.
And also, no surprises here, but for the finals, it is going to be Tastosis. It's going to be
semi-finals.
Jesus. For the finals, it is going to be Tastosis. It's going to be Artosis and Tasteless covering the finals. I was hoping that they would get at least a State or a Gemini involved to be able to have some Protoss analysis, but I think a PvP is fine. Like I don't think you need as in-depth analysis for this outside of a couple of key situations, like talking about maps that have a ramp coming into the natural, talking about greedier economic builds, talking about proxies. Like it's pretty straightforward, at least the PvPs are. So I think they can get away with not having like a Gemini or a State.
Every season, it's a sick trophy.
They'll be okay.
Every season we kept talking about getting a trophy, and then we were like, how do you actually get a trophy? We had to go look that up. I didn't know. There are apparently just places that make them, so you know, you put in a request and they build one for you. And we thought, okay, we'll save that from when we get this offline finals. And here we are, moments away from starting this. Classic versus herO. Again, I lean slightly towards herO here, but I think it could go either way. What about you?
Yeah, no, I do think I'm leaning towards Classic. I know herO has shown ridiculously strong PvP, and he actually has better micro overall than Classic, if you ask me, even though I think Classic has great micro. It's just, Classic is like this otherworldly Protoss. Like, he has so many times been the savior of the race, the rock of the race, that has just maintained high-level performance, championship-level performance, for longer than any other Protoss in the game. And that's a fact. That's a fact.
So we're going to go into
Sure.
the
It's a
map.
fact.
Is it a fact, Artosis?
You better believe it. You can bet your bottom dollar.
So right now we have a live system built in where the players are selecting the first map. So it's going to be Botanical and Evil
Like, I don't think that has any bearing on this series, but sure.
We don't give them that much time to sort that out, but you only get one veto in a best of 7, so it's really important. Whatever map you
Alright, game 1 Botanical, game 2 Evil Hearts. There is a ramp coming into Botanical, into the natural, so Botanical being game 1 is actually pretty huge. It's pretty huge because that ramp, because that secure natural base. It does allow for greedier builds and greedier play, and it does allow for Phoenix Wars. So game 1 is going to be a big pivotal moment here for this series. Game 2 Evil Hearts, short rush distance by ground, means you do not have to proxy to all in. You can all in from back at home, one base all in, I mean. So Evil Heart, hyper aggression, Botanical, potential for greed. And we have vetoed the larger maps, Tokamak and Celestial Enclave. Those are the two most defensive maps in this tournament map pool, and they've gotten rid of both of them. That kind of gives you an idea as to how these players want to play. Get these macro maps out of here. Get them out of here. True.
But yeah, these first couple of maps are going to be pivotal here to kind of shape the way this best of 7 is going to look.
Yeah, and I think especially considering they do play different styles overall, like herO is very micro-oriented, very action-oriented, and very good at taking risks, whereas Classic, he's a little bit more full-range, like he definitely will go for anything, but I feel like he's better overall towards the defensive end.
Sure.
So what I will say about Classic is hyper aggressive in PvP, and he's known for Proxy Robo. I would expect to see Proxy Robo at least twice in the series, maybe 3 times in this series, out of Classic.
Only one of them, I guess, will end it on a good note here. Winter Madness has been selected here for map 3. This does ping pong back and forth in map selection, so it's going to be herO with a quick pick.
I think it's important to take note of that. Yes, Classic is known for like defensive late game. In a lot of other matchups against Terran and against Zerg, that is not applicable to this matchup. It doesn't apply to PvP.
Yep. So no more maps to pick from here. Hopefully we do get to that map 7. It is very rare to actually get to that game 7 in a best of 7. We have a lot of 4-2s and 4-1s. But we'll see. I think this is a pretty even match. I do think these games should be fairly explosive due to the matchup and the players in it as well.
I agree.
Remember that although Classic did really dominate in the first half of the year in PvT, he had no problems in PvP.
Yep.
Protosses have looked strong all year, and sometimes being a champion comes down to like being good at one matchup.
For sure.
And sometimes in a race is very strong. The matchup that really mattered the most was the mirror matchup, because that was where the players of that race were performing well. So really the guy that was the best in that came out on top. A lot of times, and I know it's StarCraft 1 in this case, but I always think of Rain in StarCraft 1 where Protosses were killing everything, and he just seemed to have such a...
I think of Rain for StarCraft 2, to be fair.
Funny you would bring him up, because also in StarCraft 2, one of the greatest of all time for Protoss.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's upside down. No, it's upside down. There we go.
So, there you go. It's a good save there with the sign. Excellent assist. So, Protoss fighting here. Yeah, we're moments away from getting into this match. We have the Observer in game along with our 2 players.
Little shout out to Mapu. They're doing a great job throughout RSL.
True.
Yeah, Mapu has been here observing.
Yeah, I did misspeak yesterday saying that it was Ziggy, but no, it was Mapu.
And guys, let's get
who has been observing.
Here. Our finals is finally here in the bottom right in the red. Make some noise for Classic. And his opponent here in the top left in the blue, he is herO.
herO. Send him in, Bobby. Send him in.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so on this map, both players...
But if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will it go the way of herO? Will it go the way of Classic? Which way will this go? Who will be our champion for RSL? Will it be, I mean, we know it's going to be one Protoss, but which one? Best of luck. Best of luck. I already said my thoughts. I do lean towards herO here, but I would not be surprised if Classic takes it, right? Like it's like a 60-40 sort of thing in my mind. Could go either way, so best of luck with those predictions as we get into the grand finals. Meanwhile, we spoke about it when we saw the vetoes. Welcome to Botanical. You have a ramp coming into the natural. Low ground wall offs are common.
Pretty often in Protoss versus Protoss on bases that look like this. But of course, we'll have to wait and see. Like, you don't necessarily have to play that way.
Yeah, this usually leads towards Phoenix Wars. We usually see a gateway into Cybercore, into Stargate, into an expansion. The reason why is because with these probes, you should be pylon blocking to make sure that there is no faster Nexus, and you're forcing out the Stargate.
Earlier and just switch into other tech. And yeah, I mean, it's important. You have to decide pretty quickly, are you going to try to get rid of this probe and push it off, or are you going to go into more of a tech game?
Yeah,
herO, he has the money.
Really like the quicker switch.
herO gets it.
Yeah, just grab
faster
the gas,
Nexus.
Make the Zealot. You know that this is happening. But with that being said, the Nexus is going to come up quite a bit quicker here.
Yeah, very greedy from herO. I believe herO did skip his Zealot. I believe he canceled.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Classic was out of position.
Up a little bit faster.
Big win for herO.
Classic's Nexus starting just now. And what we're waiting to see from this point on in the game is what is going to be the Cybernetics core tech. Is it going to be a Stargate? Is it going to be a Robo, a Twilight? And it is going to be the Stargate here for Classic. So we'll see if there's going to be mirrored behavior here for herO, or if he's going to take this game into a very different direction.
Yeah.
If here goes for the Stargate, then we should be working towards Phoenixes. We'll see.
Actually end up in Phoenix versus Phoenix, and I know that that's not something that herO in particular likes too much. And I think that that's an area where Classic would very likely outplay him. So I don't think that that's what we're going to end up seeing. I'd be very
Yeah, if it was going to be Stargate, we would have already seen it, like from herO.
And yeah, he hasn't as of yet, and there's no reason
Twilight
to
Council
this late. So I don't think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, I guess if you make it that late, if your opponent had made the Stargate that early, you're just behind in an arms race. You're never going to catch up, and assuming the other side plays correctly. So it's going to be a Twilight Council coming down here. Probably for Blink, but you know, there's still other forks in the road.
Yeah, it's going to be for Blink.
It's going to be the first Phoenix actually here for Classic, not an Oracle.
Yeah, he might be looking at this and saying, "Oh, there might be a Stargate across the map, right?"
Yeah.
And like, if you go Oracle into Stargate,
Yeah, the problem is that
you know,
Classic didn't scout the tech, so Classic is assuming it's a Stargate, so Classic's going to try to hard counter. As we can see, as we know, there is no opposing Stargate, so yeah, this is not the best hard counter that Classic's going for, but they can still, you know, be useful.
Like, you're probably only going to want to get maybe 3.
Yeah, so he gets that first one out here. Does manage to take the probe out, and that Blink upgrade has started. Now, one thing about Stalkers with the Blink is they're going to be very strong at defending against Stalkers, against Phoenixes, but one of the problems is that you can't leave your base. So the Phoenix player can a lot of times expand and take more risks on the map because the Stalkers are only good at defending as long as they're back home actually staying there.
And they're going to try to zone out these Phoenixes a little bit. Those are going to just kind of run around and take a look as to what is going on. Classic has gone into an Oracle as well as...
He just confirmed, so he's going for the Oracle. He's now aware of the Stalkers. Going for a Robo, going for Immortal Production.
From these two players, even down to like who's doing what. To see the Phoenixes into a Robo here from Classic makes perfect sense, and of course... herO, you can't stop him from making Blink Stalkers.
2-base all in.
Because it's not going to be a full committal here with the Stalkers. He does
No, it is. It is a committal. herO, he's going for a 2-base all in.
Launch an attack from this base. I think I was just mentioning a little bit ago that, you know, the Stalkers, they're not going to be good at defending if they don't, you know, if they leave home. But, you know, if you go for some kind of an all-in and try to get some killing blow-off, then I guess it really doesn't matter if you lost a couple of probes.
Yeah, he's going for it.
So we are seeing...
I believe this is a 2-base 4-gate all in.
Outside the base. There is a hole here in the entrance, so it's not a full wall off.
Yeah, but I mean, again, Classic, he needs time for the Immortal. He needs time.
Over here, although it doesn't
he doesn't have it. Pylon goes down.
So he takes out the first pylon.
Going for the second.
This is looking a little bit rough right now. These Stalkers pushing in, dealing a lot of damage.
Shield battery is done.
The Oracle is getting some
Oracle finds only a little bit of damage.
Out, but there's not really a battery ready. Look at this. He's letting the shields run out. Really solid play there. But definitely needs to get that shield battery back up in line.
Yeah, he does.
He goes for the dive. Oh my god, massive pickup. And a brutal supply block. GG gets called. herO takes game number 1. Whew. GG.
There is herO, you know, it's funny, we were talking about, you know, the ebb and flow of what the game would look like. That was based off of, you know, kind of standard play, and herO basically said, no, you're probably going to try to switch out of this. Yeah. You're not going to keep making Phoenixes while you're in the middle of the transition. I will just use all the Stalkers I've got, and I'm just going to come break your nose.
Yeah, and he kind of nailed it. You know, if you have another shield battery up, you get a second Immortal out, you're going to be able to hold on against everything pretty easily. But
very quickly, pushing back against what he just said, if Classic kept making Phoenixes, then he would have died even faster. The correct thing for Classic to do was to go into a Robo, but the problem is because you opened up triple Stargate, triple Phoenix, it meant that there was a window of opportunity where he did have a very small army to work with. Where he was lacking an army, he was lacking units, he didn't go for extra gateways, right? There were no extra gateways, no extra Stalkers on the ground, no sentries, no Phoenixes, no sentries, no force fields were available. So herO went for the 2-base all-in, and he knew that there was a high chance it was going to be Phoenix into Immortals once the Phoenixes were revealed. So there was an opening, there was a window, and herO was able to go straight for the kill, straight for the all-in, catching Classic before he got that first Immortal out, and second Immortal out as well. GG. GG, well played. Quick game 1. We expect this series to be quick. Even if it goes to game 7, we expect fast games. We expect all-ins.
And his opponent here in the top right, in the blue, winning game 1, he is herO.
All right, Evil Heart. Kind of a small map here, so aggressive plays likely to be rewarded. We'll see if herO goes for that once again. You know, that first game, I feel like it played out kind of like how I expect games to play out, not necessarily with the herO victory each time, but like strategically it made a lot of sense from both sides. Classic, you know, his plans are oftentimes going to be probably a little bit more complex, and he's going to have to really try hard to just not fall to just random herO timing attacks.
No, it's not random. it was calculated. What? It was crazy, random.
When he was dominating,
came out of nowhere.
Basically unstoppable in PvT, and we kind of saw it in the PvZ.
So very quickly, welcome to Evil Hearts. Evil Heart is a smaller map in the map pool. Very quickly here, because the map is so small, you don't have to proxy to all in. You could actually just reinforce from back at home and commit to a 1-base all-in or 2-base all-in from back at home. So that's something to bear in mind. We'll keep an eye on the production. We'll keep an eye on the pylons. Here we can see the second pylon in the main base for Classic, second pylon in the main base for herO. So no proxies, but once again to emphasize, you don't need to proxy to all-in. So we have to keep an eye on the production, specifically on the follow-up, to see how our players spend their money and spend their resources.
Yeah, he really thrives in chaos. He thrives in high micro-intensive situations. And that's what he's going to be looking for. We definitely saw that against Zaun, and very likely we'll see that continued here. Now, taking a look at the openers, herO with a couple stalkers. That is kind of his key.
That's more aggressive. Robo, 1-base all-in. There it is. This validates what we just said. Classic is going for a 1-base all-in, not proxied, but from back at home, which is more common here.
Yeah. Huh. So, very cool. No Robo yet here for herO. Now, we don't know what the tech is here for him yet, but he did invest in.
But yeah, this is a 1-base all-in. I think the casters are still piecing it together.
At home, doesn't mean
goes for his own Robo, mirrored builds.
There's actually a lot of proxy Robo stuff happening.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's just a really strong way to play. If they're not ready for it, they're going to die. But you know, an early Robo versus a later Robo, there's not a whole lot you can make of this position right now.
And look at this. He actually snipes that.
So, from what we can see, it looks like both players are going for 1-base all-in. So we have mirrored builds here. Yes, Classic has a slightly faster Robo than herO, but they have the same overall production.
Jumping on that pylon back at home, but a couple stalkers pop out and will push him back, putting a lot of damage onto those stalkers.
Yeah. We have now herO just moving across the map. He's going to ignore that now. 4 stalkers.
Yeah, remember, no one's going to be expanding here.
And now that there's 2 adepts up here, we got to see exactly how Classic hangs on. There could be a little bit of a hole here, and this punish could actually really start to.
He wants that pylon. Gets a rope.
This looks a little bit rough, but an Immortal comes out. The Immortal will help him to hold this
up. Very nice force field. He locks him in. herO got too greedy.
From that main gateway.
Too greedy.
That was awesomely done there from Classic, and he has trapped all of these stalkers. Sure, he took a little bit of damage, but cleans out the army of herO.
And remember, herO was going for a 1-base all-in, so to lose 4 stalkers that early on, that is almost game ending. That is critical damage, critical losses for herO.
And yeah, that aggressive herO style punish. Now we've got, well, we're just getting a quick recap here of that. You can see
the instant replay.
Now actually adepts come into the main base. And kind of a similar situation.
And Classic, he has his War Prism, he has his Immortal. Classic has the advantage. Classic is going for his all-in.
Okay, Classic going across the map with his Immortal, and he has that Prism as well. Of course, there's an Immortal on the other side as well, so I'm not sure what he'll get done. You can really manipulate the bottom of the ramp between Force Fields and the Immortal and just kind of chunk away at the gateways, and that definitely is a pretty valid way to play it. But I don't see too much damage being dealt here.
He can kill the gateways.
Yeah, maybe he'll pop a gateway, but I don't think he'll do much more than that.
Yeah, he's got to be careful to not let those units get fished over to the side, almost losing the sentry.
Lackluster force field. Locks in the Immortal, and he can kill it. Massive pick off.
If he juggles correctly, he's going to kill that with minimal losses. He takes the first Immortal out. The gateway's going to fall eventually here as well. Now, Immortal
so again, I don't know if Artosis realized it was 1-base all-in, because he's like, I don't think he can get much done. He's like, mate, he can bait the army down, he can out-control because he has a Prism, and herO didn't.
Takes the gateway out.
Killed one gateway, now he can go for the other.
So far, Classic is kind of out-microing a little bit here, but with the Prism out, I think he can still maybe hold on, but the double Immortal
limited warp ins.
Single Immortal is huge. They just deal so much damage to each other.
I don't think there are any gateways left.
Right? So, I mean, with every warp in, there's just going to be more material on the board to fight with. He's going to make a battery.
Again, the lack of gateways is actually important.
Warp Prism saves the day. the second Immortal's here.
One game.
Immortals are really,
Supply
really
blocks.
key here. He does have another gateway.
He supply
as well.
blocks.
Some great juggling going on here from Classic.
Shout out to Mapu who's trying to point it out.
That's going to make all the difference.
Okay, he's going to try to push forward here. The juggling continues. The probes are going to come out. There's enough money to make a Nexus behind this as well. I think this game's almost over, Artosis.
Yeah, third Immortal coming out is huge. But the micro here of herO has been amazing so far.
Yeah, massive
Unfortunately,
pickup.
He ends up losing an Immortal. He's trying to pop his opponents, but it won't happen. GG. And Classic is going to take game number 2.
Beautifully done. I almost didn't believe that push was going to work. But,
Why?
You know, the reality is the damage just sort of built up.
GG well played. GG well played. Again, it all came down to the first move up from herO. herO was overly aggressive with his Stalkers, and he overextended. He lost all 4 Stalkers. He was so greedy, pushing into the main base. Pushing into the main base and going for the mineral line. He got punished for his greed. He got force fielded in, and herO, with losing those 4 Stalkers, as I mentioned at the time, that was critical damage, borderline game-ending damage, because that meant that he had no support for his army, no support for his Immortals. We saw that Classic was able to move out across the map, get the gateways, bait out the army, and look, herO down. GG. GG well played. But again, what we just saw here is very unique to Evil Heart. We said it at the beginning of the game, and at the validation almost immediately, but we said at the beginning, because Evil Heart is so small, you can get away with these all-ins without even proxying. You just make your production back at home, you make your tech back at home, you just one base all in. But now we move into larger maps, so now if we want to be aggressive like that, we're gonna have to telegraph that with some pylons as we load into Winter Madness.
In the bottom right, and the red guys, give it up for Classic. And in the top left here, in the blue, his opponent, he is herO. Okay, so pylons.
But this is also why I wanted either Gemini or State in the finals to help with with Protoss knowledge when it comes to the casters. I would have liked either one of them in there.
The same can be said about this map.
Yeah, you know, if you have these smaller maps, sometimes you definitely want to put that pressure on. We'll see how this one plays out, though. We definitely saw great PvP on here earlier today. herO being the
Big
first
map
to scout, sending that probe out pretty quickly. And I'm actually very interested to see, because if I'm recalling correctly, this is where herO opened up with a single gate previously. But yeah, we'll see about that. He adds his second gas, and he will go for the second gate.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, things are mirrored.
Yeah, standard openers 2 gate at 2 gate versus 2 gates. From here, we'll keep an eye on any proxy pylons, and we'll keep an eye on the first 2 units, whether we open up double Stalker, double Adept, Stalker Sentry, or Sentry Expand.
Attacks are, you know.
No matter how many ways that you speed up the early game, you still got to wait for that cybernetics core to know what Protoss is up to.
Hello, Classic.
I've been really happy.
What's the plan? He's going for the pylon.
Yeah. With the fact that Patreon supporters are
And this is a prime location for a Robo or a Stargate. Which one is it going to be?
Insane, but we've had a range of different types of games. Now, as I was saying that, Classic threw a pylon down here in the top right. Now, this may be a total red herring, because there's a probe inside the main.
No, it's not a red herring.
So there's an idea, and I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but there's an idea where
Proxy Robo one base all in. There you go.
Or I'm sorry, a hidden pylon, because they can count how many pylons you should have.
So again, the reason why this was not going to be like a red herring is because the probe was sticking around, of course, was sticking with and it was also an ideal proxy location. The reason why there was a higher chance it was going to be a Robo instead of a Stargate is because a proxy Stargate is usually designed to get into the mineral line in the main base. This one was positioned outside of the natural.
The Stargate should be able to beat the robotics, but it's not necessarily going to happen, right? Like, you make an Oracle and send it across the map, and your opponent shows up with some Stalkers and an Immortal, you're going to be in trouble. So it's hard to say exactly how this will go down.
I would favor Classic here. Stargate defense is possible, but it is difficult. Basically, with the Stargate opener, it's going to be an Oracle first into either Void Ray or Phoenix to defend. Void Rays have their place, Phoenixes have their place, but both of them have the role of sniping the Warp Prism to make sure there's no high ground vision. And the reinforcements.
He puts zone down so he can cancel.
Classic's moving in.
So a triple pylon wall here comes up.
Yeah, and of course he's going to have to cancel some of that too.
Classic going Prism first.
The Warp Prism's coming. So
here comes the Oracle for herO. Now, I really like the Robo out of herO. Very safe play. Remember, herO scouted. herO saw that a pylon was missing, so herO knows something is wrong.
connect with the target. Unlike
And hero's being very
like
safe.
tank where it fires and the damage hits immediately. And
With
because
defensive
of that,
immortals, he
you
can survive.
actually dodge the lasers, which sounds ridiculous.
Which are superior than Void Rays.
You
the
can.
Jedi can do
Yes,
it,
that's
and
right.
StarCraft units can do it.
So what he wants to do is basically try to juggle. Oh, never mind. He wants to actually go right into the main. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
The juggling may come later, but I guess getting two adepts in the main here.
Yeah,
The
they can one-shot
easiest way
probes.
to take a ton of damage early on that you almost can't recover from is to have two adepts get in your main and just kill enough probes. Because remember, you're both on one base for most of this. And so far, so good here for him.
Really good damage so far, that's for sure. Look at this. He's already got 4 probes.
4
and
probes.
actually gets both the adepts out of there.
A nice start.
Nice. Now, the Oracle going across the map is going to run into a couple Stalkers, so probably not going to get the damage that he was looking for. And I do wonder if he wants to make another Stargate unit. I would actually really love to see one. I mean, a Phoenix would be really helpful.
So you would go for the Phoenix, or you go for the Void Ray if you didn't have the Robo. But remember, the Robo is on the way for herO, and the Prism is on the way. He already has the first Immortal. That's why herO doesn't get the Phoenix, or doesn't get the Void Ray. That's why he doesn't need a second Stargate unit.
Can fight the Oracle up here. So the
Two
Oracle's
probes.
gonna have to back off, only getting 2 kills. Meanwhile, over here,
Ooh,
insane
brutal force
trap
fields.
two.
Oh my god.
He does end up losing an adept. I guess that's pretty forgivable considering he's
Losing
got double
2
stalker
Stalkers.
as well as the gateway. That's
Ay, ay, ay.
2-gate tech. There is another gateway in the main.
herO now he can micro.
We've seen this multiple times now where it's just a little bit too far forward of a dive when he doesn't have the Prism ready. I feel like herO is too aggressively trying to protect his gateways.
Yeah.
Now 2 Immortals in his base once again. Is he going to lose in the same way?
Yeah, this is kind of insane. 2
In a similar
possible
way.
losses in a row here. Let's see if he can hang on. He's going to go for the pylon. And that does actually...
Yeah, herO just doesn't have numbers. Again, herO losing those 2 Stalkers was brutal.
Double Immortal dealing a ton of damage.
Every unit counts here this early on.
Shield battery, very
Takes down the gateways.
Single Immortal trying its best to help out. Another one's about to pop out.
Boys are being
so many
pulled.
Units here. Now this is actually going to make a big difference. The
herO, can he hold
Oracle
on?
coming back to help on the defense.
The Oracle.
Okay, he's going to try to come in here. It's all going to come down to this. The probes have been pulled. There is such good juggling right now with the war prisms here.
Oh
and
my
it
god.
looks like herO
Whew.
actually drives him. Oh my god.
Oh my
he
god.
actually
That's
like
crazy.
that, just dropping the Immortal and losing it. So herO survives, but it's 12 probes to 22. So nearly a 50% lead here in workers.
Yeah.
1 base to 1 base.
Looks exceedingly bad for him right now.
Yeah.
Some great
Ooh,
juggling
losing
coming
one.
out.
Losing
herO, but
both
not enough.
Immortals.
Loses all of his Immortals.
GG.
is called. And Classic
Whew.
goes up 2-1 with pure Immortal rushes.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see that he saw what happened.
If you remember, at the very start of this series, what did we say? We said that we expect to see Classic go for a 1-base Immortal in 2, maybe 3 times in this series. He's known for it. Like, if you watch Classic's PvP, like, you know that he is very fond of Proxy Immortal and very fond of Robo All-Ins.
They're already slowed down enough to, like, okay, even if that just slows down.
Very fond of it.
1 Immortal,
But talking about the game itself here, herO, he had a very rough defense. I mean, they pointed out the force fields. Locking down 2 Stalkers that early on is brutal. Every unit counts. Every unit does count here this early on in the early game defense, just because your units are so limited, right? You have limited warp-ins, limited units, so losing any kind of unit prematurely or preemptively or unnecessarily, I mean, that punishes so much more. Or the punish is so much more harder.
structures hanging out on the outside, and instead of protecting you, now you have like a kind of an exposed
Classic takes the lead.
wound,
Yeah.
like an Achilles heel there that they can hit and punish.
And I tell you, till herO has a Warp Prism, he needs to just let a Gateway die. He's losing multiple units that cost more money than the Gateway, and then still losing the Gateway.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We now go into Game 4 here on Mothership, our only 3 spawn map. In the bottom center, in the red, he is Classic.
For
And his opponent here in the top right in the blue. Give it up for herO.
This is a good map for proxies as well, by the way.
So we can't have the same kind of rushes on this map because, you know, in most of the maps we
You
in
could.
StarCraft 2, there's only 2 spawns, and so there's always the option to go run across the map since you know their starting location and hide tech and stuff like that. But you can't exactly do that in 3-player maps. There are some pretty advanced tricks depending on the map where you might be able to hide something in close proximity. But this should come out with a little bit more of a standard game.
I think that you're you're probably right about that. Like, and that's kind of a nice thing.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Mothership is very large. It's very large, so there's a lot of proxy locations. So on the one hand, yes, you don't know where your opponent is spawning into, but on the other hand, you can proxy in the center, then scout, then figure out where they are, and then direct your aggression in that direction.
It's going to be very rare that you get split up games, right? There's just so much offensive.
And they would both scout each other immediately.
But I would love to see a big macro game PvP here. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely welcome a longer game. I'd like to see, you know, 2 or even 3
there it is.
Made, but,
Classic going for the proxy.
Proxy pylon. Artosis, I think Classic is going to do the same thing again. I can't say that
he's keeping the probe in position.
I think that on some level he's going, okay, well, what works? Do I have to stop?
Based on this location, it looks like a proxy robo. It's a big gamble here.
Well, he just keeps on.
Otherwise, we could see a Stargate.
And losing units trying to protect his gateways. So yeah, I think you're right. Like, you can kind of just continue forward until he's shown that he can learn from his mistakes, which so far he has not. So you might be right. Like, what if?
Remember, herO, he knows that a robo is missing. Defensive robo out of herO. herO's going for the hard counter.
Just goes like 4-1 here. It's like, wow, that's
we'll see when the casters notice.
I kind of respect it, though. I think it's a situation where
get defensive robo.
Well, I don't have to do, you know, the entire range of play and show everything.
And proxy robo.
Just keep doing this.
Oh, just classic scouts.
Really know how to stop it. Maybe I just have more.
He does.
Micro.
He knows.
Maybe I can just eke
he
out
sees
a little bit more damage every time.
So eventually the casters will keep up. So herO's going for a defensive robo back at home. This is supposed to be a hard counter to the proxy robo. The reason for this is because you should have an equivalent production, but defensive, so it's even faster, right? It's even faster. So this is a very strong build here from herO, hard countering and hard reading that Classic would go for the same one base all in with the proxy robo. Now, it still comes down to the execution, still comes down to the micro, still comes down to the control. We'll see if herO can pull this off.
You never really expect the same build.
But remember, Classic scouted it.
That's for sure.
You expect that against that same guy you keep getting queued in on the ladder.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, all right, this guy is trying this one.
And they're saying how, like, oh, you don't really expect the same builds multiple times in a row. That is not true. That is not true. You do expect it out of Classic. That's the reason why before the series even began, we're like, no, yeah, we're going to see a lot of proxy robo. Like, Classic is very fond of it.
He's finally going to scout it. He sees, oh my gosh, it's the exact same build.
But he already knew. He already knew.
Now, here is Classic with the
he was already aware, Pappy. God damn it.
He just shades and then doesn't move it. Okay.
Yeah, he wants it to be not scouted, so they just suddenly appear.
Yeah, got it.
But that one doesn't do nearly as well. Much better defended here from herO so far. Last time, I think he got 3 probes.
Remember, he's going for his own counterattack?
Yeah, I think it was 4. So, you know, again, it's literally like the same trick, you know. But already, herO's doing a better job of holding it.
Uh-oh.
And, you know,
there's not a lot of dead space. There's not a lot of dead space here. herO, he's gonna lose the prism. No, that's huge.
Oh man.
Oh my god. The intercept.
Oh god.
Oh, just barely not.
Jesus.
Barely gets out of there, but it's so
herO needs to calm down.
Really careful with it now.
Yeah, there's something really depressing about having a like super low HP War Prism.
Yeah.
You're almost like, I should just make another one of these, but that's also not efficient. But it could be much easier to lose the game. He's going for the pylon, then decides to fight the Stalkers. Takes
well, he'll get it.
Out, will stop the Immortal from
massive pickoff.
That's crazy. He gets it.
Oh,
now, it looks like herO is going to catch one Immortal over here, which
gets
is
the
nice
Immortal.
Force fields, but look at how many Stalkers we have there from Classic.
Forced to recall.
Oh my god, the damage is so
again,
high
hero's in so much trouble here. Delayed robo production as he got depowered, of course. The Prism, it can't really threaten him too much. He lost a Stalker as well.
Wow, he's really good with Stalkers. I should
it's getting messy.
So, the Robo is back up and running. Oh, we've got 2 Adepts in the main. I didn't even realize 5 pro kills.
Yeah, Classic getting some good damage there, but Classic's push is coming up. He's got a lot of Sentry energy, which is nice. Drops that Immortal out. I think herO's going to be fine, though. Even though this started out a little bit bumpy, he's
oh my god, 8 probe kills. Jesus.
If he just defends this cleanly, I could definitely see him take
9 probes.
Yeah. He's
going to get 10.
Keep pushing up here, though. And you can see herO being a lot more conservative about fighting. He's just going to let him over.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's going to let Classic, I should say, overextend. 2 Immortals are out.
Yeah, third one comes out here.
And with that herO, he has a better economy. He has his own Prism. He saves his units.
The Prism is low, but he saves it there.
The Gateway has lost all the shields. It's kind of hard to actually get over there and hit it.
And again, the reason why this is looking so much better this time for herO is because of his build, because of his opener.
He is just going to stay out here, and I think herO's starting to trade a little bit better. He's actually ahead in supply at this point in time.
It looks like they're kind of
And of course his controller's counterattack.
Yeah.
Right, like they're both looking for each other to mess up and just capitalize and win the game. Now, the Prism with the Immortals is going out. I think he's going to hunt the Robo.
Yeah, I think you're right, and he's going to unpower those gateways here as well. This is a great move here from herO to shut this down, but that does prompt
nice force field.
Classic to just dive into the main here.
River
now
gets
the
depowered.
Immortals are running back.
Here he has no War Prism back at home.
On these Immortals, the juggling doing so well here for Classic, trying to pick those off. In the meanwhile, herO is coming back with his own Immortals to try to save.
Oh, he was the Immortal.
Okay,
the
so
Immortal goes down.
Back, but has there already been too much damage?
But hero's
down?
back. Hero defends.
The two Immortals can actually pull through. A lot of kills over there, but he does save the day, and we're going to see Classic pull away. Now, he can't use his Robo because it's unpowered in the middle of the map. This is always what happens when you make stuff in the middle of the map. It's like the game goes on for a while. Now you have this key infrastructure just kind of out in the open. It can be abused positionally.
Well, you know what? He's got to go power that up again. I think that's really important. And you can see he was actually looking for that probe, and the probe took a sharp turn there. So Classic knows exactly what's up, and he's trying to repower this to get some more Immortals out.
Is he going to turn around? No, he's going to try to attack in here. Now, Immortals, you know, these things were made to kill things like siege tanks, but in PvP, they're actually just good at executing like stalkers and sentries.
And pylons and probes they're tough, man.
Yeah,
In the Prism, it's so hard to kill.
The only way to stop him was with other Immortals.
Yeah.
So he's in here. He's doing a lot of damage, and now we see the rest of herO completely.
He chooses to ignore the Robo. That's a bold move.
Here.
Jesus.
He's going to try
Prism.
to push. That War Prism is so low, and I don't know that Classic can stop this, man.
Here Snowball's out of control. The mass hallucination.
This is just because if you're A-clicking on the ground, it's hard, right? You could end up accidentally hitting a Colossus. Also a bit of a diss. Yeah, a bit of a flex.
They stand over the other units, so it's actually hard to target things down correctly.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a cool unit to pop out there. And look at the damage output here from herO. It looks like he's about to.
We have a back and forth.
You know, 2 Immortals and a Prism. He feels like he has a chance. I don't know that he does, though.
All right, the probes are going to come. It doesn't matter.
GG.
GG. herO takes that up, tying this series up 2-2.
All right. Have ourselves a series now. I was getting a little bit nervous there. Classic opened a little bit better on that map, but I think the Adepts getting in there for herO, that's really where it started to turn around because he got a lot of probes.
Yeah. You know, it's
funny,
we didn't even have the same idea at playback.
Again, as a reminder, that's something that they didn't bring up, is that herO did open Robo, again, one base Robo, which is meant to hard counter proxy Robo. So herO, he gambled a little bit. He assumed that that Classic was going to go for the proxy again. He assumed correctly. Despite that, herO did have a shaky couple of moments, losing the initial Immortal, losing the Stalker, sorry, I should say, his Prism getting low across the map as well. Like, there were a couple of shaky moments early on for herO, but he did manage to deal crippling economic damage and defend back at home. So solid read here out of herO, and GG. GG, well played. We're tied up 2-2. Now, after we saw the proxy Robo fail here, there's a high chance that Classic won't proxy Robo again, not immediately. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again in this series, but later on, like in another couple of games. We'll see what we go for this time. Likewise, I'm curious what the maps are as well, as I don't know if they're going to be calling for a break. They are. Okay, we're going to be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll have Game 5 to determine who takes the lead in the series. Right now, we're tied up 2-2. We'll be back for Game 5. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the grand finals here of the RSL 2025 playoffs. The playoffs of the final event here at the end of the year. Welcome back to the co-stream. We are currently mid-series. We're tied up 2-2 in the grand finals between Classic and herO, and we are getting ready for Game 5 to determine who will take a lead in the series. As a reminder, it's a best of 7, so first to 4. 2 more wins are all that our 2 players need, and I'm curious to see what maps we're going to be loading into. As we are loading into Game 5, Magnetic North.
Top right in the red. Guys, let's make some noise for Classic. And his opponent here in the bottom left, in the blue, let's get noisy for herO.
Let's get noisy. Clap is in the chat.
Okay, fast expand this time around, again, due to the nature
The
of
low
the
ground
map.
wall off is a better way of putting it.
But it doesn't mean we're going to have necessarily a long game.
So,
I hope we do, but it doesn't mean we have to.
Oh, well, last time we saw this, herO just kind of went up the front.
So very, very quickly here, we do have a ramp coming into the natural. We spoke about this on Botanical, but because there's a ramp coming into the natural base, it is very common to set up on the low ground. Now, this doesn't mean that our players want to be hyper greedy, but the goal here is to go for a gateway, into a cybercore, into a Stargate, into a Nexus. Now, if the opposing player fails to pylon block, then they can get a faster Nexus and be a little bit greedier. Otherwise, typically we see a Stargate, and if we both see Stargates, then we can end up in Phoenix Wars. Now, the last time we saw this kind of dynamic, we saw that herO went and he skipped his Stargate, went Twilight Council, and he went into a 2-base all-in with Mass Blink Stalker. That was on Botanical, but I can't imagine we'll see that again. That's typically like a response and a reaction you do once in a series, so we'll see if our players are able to block each other, we'll see if our players are able to get faster expansions or not. Let's go.
And so, yeah, I mean, let's see what kind of game these two are going to give us here if we do go into a macro game. It does feel like in PvP, there's a lot of fragility in staying alive in kind of the matchup overall until they both have a second base up and things kind of slow down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, you know,
There's a pylon
the way
block.
that they've been playing so
Forces
far
out the
has been
Zealots.
So unbelievably aggressive. No one's really taken too much of a defensive stance.
There it is, Stargate at a herO, and we should be seeing a Stargate at a Classic.
Phoenix play into Immortal, but
There it is.
oh god.
So,
they both
Stargate versus
start
Stargate,
eating
Phoenix
each other's
Wars.
faces.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
So when
That's
you
standard.
both go Stargate, oftentimes this will turn into a Phoenix arm race.
Mhm.
And the thing is, if you're both going Phoenixes like heavily, if one player gets even one more Phoenix, they're going to dominate.
Yeah.
But if they overmake Phoenixes and you switched into Stalkers, you might have a timing there. And if either player were to do that, it would probably be herO.
Yeah, so this has been a really a game where they're really tripping each other up and slowing each other down. So finally the Nexus start.
Well, what Artis said
yeah,
is correct.
totally am in agreement with
This
what you
is
said,
correct.
Artos. It's like once you start
Phoenix
Phoenixes, you kinda
Wars, if
can't
someone tries to
stop.
deviate,
It gets
they
to
can
be this
try.
crazy arm race.
Oracle for ooh.
What? Okay, he's gonna go for an Oracle.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
That's very interesting because on paper, like the theory would be, well, now you have to both go Phoenixes, right?
Yep.
But okay, so let's say that one guy goes Phoenixes and the other guy hides Oracles, and the Phoenixes leave. Well, you can just run back inside the main and kill all the workers.
Well, I think that has to be the plan.
Yeah.
You know, once upon a time, like many patches ago, Phoenixes killed Oracles so quickly that the Oracles couldn't do damage. One of the best changes they ever made was to make it so that the Oracles no longer took that type of damage. They're armored down. So Stalkers are much better. Phoenixes are not. So even if Phoenixes are there, you're going to get some amount.
Classic getting in position. Phoenixes, they're ready in the main.
So we had the
Second Stargate at a herO. Remember, herO, it looks like he's unaware of the Oracle opener, and we can see Classic switching to Blink Stalker.
See
Go
the
right into
The second Stargate for herO is him doubling down on Phoenix. He'll start a Phoenix before this gets up there.
So he's
Ah, the
making that
fake out.
Look at me, I'm making Phoenixes.
Yeah. No, everything's going according to plan.
Yeah, now he cancels it.
Yeah.
Okay, great move there.
Oracle comes in.
herO is trying to. Oh my God. Okay, so he knew the Phoenixes would be out now. Look at this play. This
Huge
is
move.
3 probes.
Masterclass.
4
StarCraft
probes.
game here.
Nice damage. 5. It's going to be a one-way
Classic's
trip.
doing so well. You definitely sacrifice this all the way. You get as many probe kills as possible. 6 is a great result for this Oracle. He's already going into Blink. Because the
Now, this
Oracle
is going to trigger the counterattack. It's going to trigger the move out, and we'll see if Classic can survive here and minimize losses, because hero's going straight for the mineral line, or at least he should be.
That much damage again. It's only 3 Phoenixes right now.
And remember, I mean, of course, the Phoenixes can pick up workers and stuff like that, but that's how you get punished by Blink Stalker.
Yep.
Now, Blink's not done yet for Classic, but you know, I don't know how much damage herO can really do here.
Where are the Stalkers?
I guess there's nothing over this Nexus.
Yeah,
I guess
not
he was
much
in the
over here
main,
to
yeah.
stop.
Yeah, he's in the main.
Even if you use all of your energy here, what are you going to get? 5, 6 probes?
Yeah.
Maybe a 7th if you're waiting around long enough. It's just not going to equal that much damage. It's a huge amount of money he's put into those Phoenixes and the double Stargate, which he can't even use anymore.
And you can see that herO.
So this is a role reversal of what happened on Botanical, where Classic is going for the 2-base all-in. He's going for a Mass Blink Stalker with 4 gateways. I think he's getting a 5th gateway across the map. So 1-base all-in at a class, sorry, 2-base all-in at a Classic, and herO, he needs to buy time for the Immortals. If he can build up his Immortal count, he can survive.
Get the rest of his army over there and then
Nice
launch
moves.
his attack. And if this whole
You're
strategy
stacking
works out
up.
for Classic, and so far it's been pretty perfect how he's played this, he will probably just smother this position.
Yeah.
He just will overwhelm this. The Phoenixes can't really do anything. They're going to like pick up one unit and they're all going to be killed.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to need to see not just these Immortals getting chrono boosted out by herO, but just any gateway units that you can muster as well. Like
show us the force
anything
fields.
Can make. Very, very important of him to just have some sort of damage raining down on these Stalkers as they try to come up to kill him.
Classic does expand.
Okay, so the Immortal is out, and a second one's going to be here. So maybe Classic actually can't get through.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You know, and I think the positioning here is pretty good. Like, it's kind of hard for the Stalkers to get up here and do that.
Force fields are nice.
Kill this pylon, or maybe he actually won't kill the pylon. Wow. Okay, so that was a pretty bad overextension.
This looks good for herO right now. This is kind of opposite of what I was expecting. Now, he makes the Colossus to have the vision of that high ground, but it really feels like herO is playing this position much better than what we saw from Classic in Game 1, although it is a little bit different because Classic slowed this push by making the Oracle.
So, I got to say, I mean, I'm really impressed with herO's hold here. It doesn't mean the Classic failed, though. You know, he was smart enough.
Kind of. I would say that herO has the potential to outscale, right? He can just outscale Classic over time.
Not expanding. herO's
going for the Dark Shrine.
And I guess he will be able to take out this gateway.
What's the old saying? One behind Dark Shrine?
Yeah. And I guess
into the mineral line.
Play is a smart move here as well. If everything is pushing at the front, you might as well just come in here and kill off workers.
Some good solid kills.
Yeah.
And that only
should be able to get up to 9
even after all those workers were killed, which should give you an idea of how ahead Classic actually was in this game. So he's also going to scout the third base. There is a situation where herO could just try to...
Now again, Mass Immortal does shut down Mass Blink Stalker, so Classic is in trouble. He needs Zealots. So Charge on the way, getting to Mass Zealots. He needs that support.
The DTs could end up being the closer.
Yeah.
Because I think you're looking at this, you're seeing 3 Immortals. Even though you know psychologically DTs are always a possibility, a lot of games people are trying to hold this with everything they've got, and they're not ready. Actually, I take that all back. An Observer's about to pop out. So if he keeps that with his army, he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he'll still try to do something with the DTs. We'll see if that works out for him. But right now, herO is gearing up for what is probably just going to be a 2-base all, and he's
Observer's moving out.
Ton of gateways here. Even if the DTs kind of get found out and don't do a lot, maybe he can make an Archon or something out of them.
No detection back at home. There is an Observer, but it's across the map.
I don't see anything there to defend against them.
He's getting in. The DTs.
Okay, he's going to be out now. The Stalkers.
The probes are going down.
Yeah, so the DT is wreaking havoc over here. And
That's a Phoenix.
To have the Observer is one thing, but you got to have it where the DTs are. So the second Observer is going to come out. But you know,
15 probes, Jesus.
The DTs, you can hide somewhere. He is
15 workers go down.
Finally, be able to kill this last.
Doesn't get the pylon.
That was 15 probe kills, which, by the way, just like the Phoenixes earlier, which got all those worker kills, it brings the probe count back to even. So herO has been behind, caught up, then been behind again and caught up.
That's a good way to put it. He starts his
kind of. He's been behind and caught up economically, but army-wise, hey, you can turn those those DTs into Archons that actually be very effective when it comes to his main army.
His army is pretty solid right now.
He's got 5 Immortals.
A lot of Stalkers for Classic, but I mean, when you have some Guardian Shields, you have 4 Immortals in here, you have a bunch of charge lots, sometimes you feel like you need to hit this attack anyways.
Okay,
oh, he snipes the Observer.
Right now
the Observer. He gets owned. Barely not. Never mind.
Yeah, he almost picked off that Observer as well. Right now, the Immortal's dealing huge.
Prism barely gets away.
Stalkers, they do blink down to the side.
Going for the warp in. Oh my God!
Right
barely
now,
denies.
Stalkers are surrounding these Immortals and might be able to pick all of them off. But still, a lot of Stalkers left over here for herO.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. herO just sort of let
messy fight out of herO.
Tank damage, but at the end. Seems like there might have been enough for herO, but with another warp in, I think Classic can drive him back.
Well, right now, herO is bringing up even more Blink Stalkers.
This all comes down to the Prism. The Prism going down, the Prism getting sniped was huge, so herO, he lost momentum. He also lost the Immortals. He abandoned them, trying to protect his Prism.
As the rest come up, he can turn and fight a little bit. He has more Stalkers right now, but you have to be careful about those charge
So messy fight out of herO.
Real back and forth game over here. Remember, herO has given up all the Immortals he made that game. We may not see a lot more Immortals made. We may see the tech kind of shift here. One more DT is being made for herO. I don't.
But this is the moment here where
okay, he's going to pick it up in that warp.
This Warp Prism gets very low, so herO he has to pull back the Stalkers to protect it.
I love how low his graphics
here,
are,
yeah, he blinks back to protect the Prism, and he exposes the Immortals.
herO is playing this on a PlayStation 2.
Yeah, that's what it looks like just about. But yeah, Decent micro there overall. Now herO going to kite away. He's trying to utilize these.
And hero's stuck with pure Stalker.
Using active units to gain some value, and he has a lot more Stalkers than his opponent. But the charge lots really do make a difference.
Okay, so in this chase,
They do. Like Classic has a superior composition, takes down the DT.
Goes down. Classic's continuing to chip away. Army supply, it's actually...
Yeah, and Classic's just outscaling. He's just outscaling herO. herO just stuck with a worse army, with a worse composition.
The game gets started, so...
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's like Forges, generally you see the Forges started and upgrades start in Protoss versus Protoss when you feel like, okay, no one's going to kill anybody here. Like, we gotta go to the next level, which is upgrades.
Yeah, it's funny that you pointed that out, but yeah, nobody was treating the game like it was here to last.
Yes.
Right? It was all about the present. And when you see that Forge made, it goes, okay, this game's going to go on for a while. I got to invest in the future. herO makes a hidden base in the very top left, and I really
Yeah, hero's
like
desperate.
this.
Yeah.
They've been so in each other's faces.
He's desperate for damage. Classic can A move, by the way.
Yeah,
Unironically.
it's hard to read if any minerals are missing because the game is in such a chaotic state. So right now, herO does pull back.
Classic could just send it.
See, still waiting for his charge.
Getting distracted.
He's got to be really careful because right now, Classic has a way bigger, way scarier army.
Okay, the DTs drive away the workers. And hero's kind of, he's going to, well, hold on a second. Big attack coming in here. Does Classic actually have too much? Remember, the hero spent that extra money on the hidden Nexus. And now, you know, these are units that were not made with that expansion being built. And I think that suddenly herO might just get overwhelmed by Classic.
Suddenly?
Yeah, it looks like Classic is going to be able to push through everything. It was just a little bit too greedy there from herO. Too many poor engagements. And Classic going in for the kill. Blinks into the probes on this third base. His charge zealots come back. And this should be GG.
Yeah, I don't think...
Yeah, again, herO, he had a little momentum earlier on. He had a superior main army. I'm referring to when he pushed out with his 5 Immortals. But we were trying to emphasize when they had the instant replay that herO had a really poor fight. We chose to blink back. He chose to try to protect the Prism, and that meant that he lost all 5 Immortals. And GG. GG gets called. Classic takes a lead.
All right, Classic is the first one to go up to match point in this finals. And herO, you know, I think he played well overall. This was like a really good back and forth game. Like you said, he was falling behind and catching up time and time again. But I think he did.
Yo, shout out to Hydra in the chats. Good morning, good morning.
Esther
Hydra.
Up into an expansion, into +1. Maybe just a little bit too greedy with everything he was trying to pull off.
The graphics that he plays on are insane. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's playing StarCraft 2 on an emulator here.
Yeah, this is... I was just told this was 7.6 AP. So that's, all right. Well, to each their own, okay?
7.6 AP.
I mean, it's pretty normal
Must be a new kid's meme.
for players to play on as low settings as possible.
7P Protoss. All right, yeah.
So if Classic wins the next game, that's it. He's the champion.
Yeah.
herO.
For those that are curious why pro players play on such low settings, one is performance. The other reason is less graphical effects to like distract, so you can like focus on like the bare bones of the spells that matter, and there's nothing distracting. It cleans up the visual of the screen itself.
In the bottom left, in the red,
Getting rid of the clutter.
He is Classic. Well, the cheese might come. That's definitely a possibility.
We've had it already.
And in the top left, in the blue, he is herO.
herO.
Classic.
Yeah.
Do you have time?
Yes.
We don't know. This could end at any moment here.
Now do one for the Maganatha.
Yeah.
So, Gateway's on the high ground here. I got to say, I'm not surprised that we're not seeing the core building blocks for the build order differ here.
Yeah, it's kind of rare.
It's kind of figured out, I guess, but it's when the game picks up a little bit that it gets interesting. You know, that last one, I think Classic just had some really, really good engages. Each of these games, they've been short.
Hello, Classic.
I guess the last one was
Did you
the
see that?
longest, of them, but even that was short compared.
So if you look at Classic's camera, he's actually panning over towards top right, so he's going for a proxy. So proxy out of Classic with this probe, and herO, he will not see the probe. Ooh. Okay.
There's been so many interactions, it's almost hard to keep track of.
Yeah, it really has been. It has been very, very back and forth.
But if you're watching Classic's camera, like early on, he set up the camera location. Yeah, here, top right. Hero's going for his own. So proxy versus proxy.
Proxying pylons.
All right.
So once again, we're very likely to get into high aggression from these guys.
Both trying to
That's
steal
one base all ins, all arounds. Proxy robo out of hero, proxy robo out of classic.
You get a game where usually like one guy is proxied, and the question is the other guy ready?
Let's go.
No. But
There it is.
Doing it to each other. These make for usually the most chaotic games.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's decided by like who spots it first, and then like
That one guy in the audience, he got his wish, Pappy. Let's go.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
And like, what are you going to end up doing with your Immortals and Warp Prism here? Like, they're doing the exact same build. And we've seen already that Classic has done a great job with dropping off Adepts. herO tried that. It didn't quite work. Are they both going to go for that? Or are we going to have this situation where both sides are just killing massive amounts of probes? And just like, I mean, it might get really crazy really quick.
Okay, so we've got a little chase here with the probe.
Hero, he made 2 adepts, he's making 2 more. So 4 adepts out of hero. Classic went double adept into double stalker.
On the right side of the map, really strong because
so hero has more harassment, he has more aggression.
It might be too much work to go over to the side. Not only that, but they both passed each other. So this means they could both hit each other like immediately here.
And hero's getting up to 6 adepts.
Interesting.
In a head-on fights, he's worse.
You can go for a couple stalkers, whereas herO is just non-stop on the adepts right now. So the stalkers are going to fight better against the adepts, but don't have a lot of potential as far as harassment goes.
I thought they were both going to go for a Warp Prism right away, but they both went for Immortal, which is even a little bit spicier.
Yeah, it might have to do with just
hero hits first.
each other being on the map.
With the Immortal hero, he gets across the map. He's already here. Classic is late. Oh my god. Yeah, locks down the stalker.
Okay, we can't get the pylon wall up here.
Yeah, that's definitely a big mistake that he did not end up getting that pylon wall. So
oh my god, takes down the sentry. Boys are being pulled. Classic's in danger. He's in trouble.
Against hero's
Classic. He's losing everything.
So much damage right now. And look at this. He's actually going after the pylon while the warp gates are being attacked.
So it looks like
that might just be game, by the way. That's just that might just be game.
He's going to end up taking this out. And this is where they're both just tearing each other apart right now. I have no idea which way this game's going to go.
No, this is very hard to predict at the moment. He's got to.
I mean, you say that herO preserved most of his probes. He has depowered the production. So it's classic. Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, and a lot more probes right now. So the Immortal, I mean, basically can't be defeated here. An Immortal and a Warp Prism is one of the strongest things in the game.
Now remember, no one has gateways. No one has warp-ins. No one has warp-ins here, but herO has a higher probe count. GG gets called, and herO ties up the series.
That was probably a hard game for everybody to follow. herO had just enough momentum that Classic included. He can't catch up.
He got those adepts up, and the wall couldn't be made. I think he was just barely on the pixel that you need to make it or something. I'm not sure. Like, maybe it was out of money. Maybe it was a misclick.
It was 2 things.
But whatever it was,
hold on.
He didn't get the wall up.
It was 2 things. One, herO opened up 6 adepts. He opened up 6 adepts to be able to commit across the map. Not just that, but if you notice, the robo of herO was closer to Classic than Classic's robo. Classic robo was further in the corner, so it was further away, so the Immortal hit later. That's what I was trying to emphasize when the Immortals were coming out. So herO, he was able to hit first, hit harder, hit faster, and also committed into Mass Adept to be able to do more critical economic damage. So big move there from herO. He was able to strike first. Classic was late to the trigger. He was late to the party, late to commit into the main base, and with that, GG. Whew, again, a slight variation when it came to their builds.
And we'll close out the year with the final win here for StarCraft.
We have the ace match, the final game.
We will end this on the map, Maganatha. Guys, let's make some noise. Classic versus herO, the final game of the night, starting now. In the top left, in the red, he is Classic. And in the bottom right, in the blue, he is herO.
It's been a great tournament here so far, and we're finishing off game number 7 on Maganatha, the one map whose mini-map really looks topographic. Giant mountain range through the center there.
Yes. And this is a very big map.
Yeah.
Now,
It is.
generally, when you have a big map, you say they can't rush each other.
That's not true.
Because it's far
Not in PvP.
distance-wise. But it actually isn't really true with Protoss.
Ah,
Yeah.
Tasteless, he knows.
They can warp in and they can proxy. And, so,
And that's exactly what they do, in fact.
yeah. But, you know, it does create different situations where, like, forcing recall is really important because if they do that, then it does cause a positional reset.
So it's very common to proxy on Maganatha, whether it's a fake proxy pylon, a proxy robo, or a proxy Stargate. All three are viable options here, so we'll keep an eye on the workers. This time we don't see Classic set up his camera location, or at least I didn't notice it.
That's not as
Oh no, he does.
common a build.
Did you see?
Saw him try
Ah,
this against
chat. Did you see the camera? So Classic, he's setting up his proxy at the rocks in the middle. He's setting up his proxy at the rocks in the middle of the map,
You do have to be a little bit
I believe.
careful. You have to be very precise on your defense because your opponent is simply
Or he might have just like
able to
panned
beat
over
more
to it.
units than you are.
Right. On the other hand, you can tech up. You can get into, you know, that tier 2 here.
Ah, he's going for the
Protoss
scout.
a little bit
Okay,
more
okay, okay.
quickly.
Classic is scouting.
So we have a
Hero is going for a
here
fake pylon, a fake proxy, I should
at
say.
the natural.
A fake out.
Now we're going to see Classic's probe come up and go into the main.
Stargate
and I
opener.
think the idea is that as that probe scouts into the main,
Wait, what?
quietly, we're going to see, yeah. Oh, hold on.
Oh,
He went down to check.
he's going for the fast Nexus.
I really
Okay.
like it. Yeah. And Classic's going to
Bold
check again.
move out of
Yeah.
Hero. He was
So,
hiding his probe to get the
remember in
Nexus
two of
up.
our previous games, they were both blocking each other's
Okay,
nexus, so
okay.
that's the idea,
Hyper
is
greed out of
Classic
Hero.
there.
He went Gate,
But we
Cyber,
gotta see, I
Stargate,
mean,
Expand.
Classic could very well you know, just go pedal
Yeah,
to the
Classic's
metal here
pylon.
and try to be aggressive, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's hiding a pylon in
So
plain
Classic's
sight.
going to try to proxy. He's going to try to
Really
punish.
Interested in this. What
I'm
is
sorry.
Classic doing? Classic making his own Stargate, but it's so late, and his Nexus is late. It just feels like everything he's doing is a step slower.
Okay, so is that a full-on fake? And I
don't-
said
Yeah, it's a
hiding
fake
in
out.
plain sight, which doesn't even make sense. He just hit it in front of his face. But did he want an overreaction there?
Yes.
No. It's really hard to say where he's going with this.
It feels like it's wrong. Like if you were
No, yeah, the
doing
pylon is a
something
fake out.
next
Like
to
from
him,
Classic, I
you know,
mean. So he wanted an overreaction out of Hero. Hero is going to be opening up Phoenix.
So calculated that
Hero
he, like,
scouts, he
touched
confirms.
probes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be.
It's a hard one to follow here.
Well, he's lining up for a Phoenix War that he should be behind in. But, you
Yeah.
know, there is the travel distance of sending the Phoenix across the map, so it's like, okay, yeah, maybe if he sits back defensively, but his first Phoenix is coming across the map, he's going to run into 2 Phoenixes. If you run 1 Phoenix into 2 Phoenixes, the chances of getting away from that is low, Tasteless.
Yeah, well, you can't really. Phoenixes can't run from
Yeah,
the
Oracle's
Phoenixes
on the way.
because they
Hero,
can't
he's
slow
ready.
down at all. It's,
Hero engages. Let's pan to the
I
main.
kind of actually
Two on-
hated about the
2
units.
on 1, man.
Yeah.
Like, State may beat Artosis or Tasteless, but not Tastosis.
So we've got the Citadel coming down here now, and we have Hero continuing to make Phoenixes, and we're kind of waiting. You know, how is this game going to pan out? It does feel like the distance of the map is really becoming more and more apparent.
That was- that was-
Nobody
that
can
was-
really
that was
attack
such a
Hero,
random jab
so
at
maybe
State.
we'll have some long game here.
What just
Fine
happened?
game here in the series.
Right now, an Oracle is coming out through a very...
Yo, much love to State.
It's like
What's-
1 Phoenix
Oh,
against
no.
3 Phoenixes, so like Classics' Phoenixes are not going to work well.
He's
Whereas
catching
4
strays,
against
Bab. He's
1,
catching strays.
Very, very one-sided, but he does have these Stalkers to help out a bit.
Oh man, that was a really good move. He took the Phoenix out, and then he goes right over the workers. Meanwhile, this Oracle is going to come through here and try to take these probes out. Both sides taking heavy losses. A couple more
Ooh.
workers are not killed due to the battery saving that.
Yeah, the
Clutch save.
battery's actually putting out some big work here. You know, he still gets more workers than what was gotten on the other side. He gets 6 against, you know, just 4.
DT's at a
But
Classic.
the Nexus was a bit quicker for Hero, so they're
Let's
still
go.
very
Going for the
close.
proxy.
So,
Dark Shrine tastes.
Yeah,
They're
it's-
pulling out all the stops.
so Dark Shrine in the very bottom left, and you know, Classic's going to set up for something. We don't know when exactly this is going to take place. He doesn't have to use this right away, by the way, but I know he is going to make 1 or 2 DTs and send that out. And you know, he might not find that. He could use that for an attack later on.
You know, I
Oh.
tell you, this is getting so crazy right now with the amount of tricks they're trying to pull on each other. If one of them could cannon rush right now, they would. I tell you that. The Phoenix is coming in for some more harassment. They do get a fair amount of probes. Oracle coming back in, but yeah, the Stalkers are there ready to stop it.
Okay, he is going to take.
It does
the
punish.
Oracle
Brings
out,
down the Oracle.
but of course,
DTs are on the way. What is the detection? There's an Oracle. There's an Oracle back at home.
It's coming across the map.
He's got the Revelation. There's the NG overcharge.
Yeah, he
Ooh,
does
going
have
for the
that
stasis.
Oracle.
Does he notice? Does he notice the shimmer?
Okay, so we got some stasis wards out in the front. Backs that
Oh,
up.
there it is.
Okay, he does use the detection, and yeah, going to be able to lift that. So down goes the DT.
Yeah.
The DT doesn't work.
Yeah, no impact DT.
Yeah. And it's expensive to go DT. So right now you can see definitely the army supply is really favoring herO.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about going Dark Templars is that you, if it works, it really works. But if it doesn't do anything at all, you're just sort of in a worse position.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Robo has started over here for both sides. And we're starting to see infrastructure be built. Now, there are Stalkers coming down here for Classic. I think it's the same number that are ready to defend here for herO. So this would probably result in basically nothing.
Yeah, he has Blink right now, and herO's still waiting for his to finish up. So Classic, you know, he goes in, he gets a pylon, he blinks away. Okay, I think that, moves like that are totally fine right now. I am a little bit nervous because as herO gets Blink, we know how much he likes to make Stalkers. We know how much he wants to be active with them and aggressive with them. And having this additional army supply, having this nice little air fleet with him as well, really puts him into a favored position.
Yeah, the Forge is almost finished here for Classic. herO's going to have that upgrade lead, like we were talking about overall. And I think this game slows down quite a bit, which is welcome. We've had a lot of just really positive.
I mean, it slows down, that's true. We're getting up to 3 bases. So far, herO has the better economy. I spoke too soon. Probes are going down.
Have time to react, and he reacts pretty fast. So only 4 probes are killed by the DT there.
All right, yeah, and that was
Classic takes the lead.
That relatively quickly. Classic does have more workers at the moment. He's getting into charge as well. That's actually kind of important if you're going towards charge lots as opposed to Stalkers. You really want to have a full economy so you can just pump those charge lots out.
And,
it's a Classic. He has a better economy, faster 4th base, earlier charge.
Archon is a lot of times how the game ends up. You know, once you start to have these big fights and you have to have the army resets, the easiest way to remake
Fun fact, for the very first time this series, we're entering the mid game. it's finally happening. We finally got there. Mid game, pappy. Let's go.
Look at the expansions and how many bases can be taken. And there's a lot of space to be out of position here if you're not moving around into the right spots. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But you're definitely right.
They gave us one
macro
macro game.
Here as on map 7, it's
exactly
such
one.
a gigantic map, and they're not really attacking each other because they know, like, oh gosh, by the time I go across there, it's going to be really hard to get any damage on, even if I have a slight lead. So even though herO's been ahead in that army supply for a bit, like Classic is hitting everything just well enough that it's actually pretty dangerous to go attack.
So, you know, you can do whatever you can do with these Stalkers for the time being. It looks like they're kind of stuck over here. You could theoretically just keep right-clicking them on top of each other, but there's better ways to use your APM.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
would
not
say
going to
so.
go on for too much longer. He's going to recall him.
Gets a couple kills there. You know, and of course, don't forget, that is supply that's not as useful at this stage of the game.
Yeah,
Still somewhat useful, but not as useful as it was. So it's not a huge deal to lose a few Phoenixes.
Yeah, there's definitely units in the game where, like, you get them, and that's great, and then later on you're like, this thing sucks.
Yeah.
I need to get something else.
Yeah, like an Adept right now would not be very useful.
Right. So we have a later 4th base here for herO. He's ramped up his army size a little bit more. Both sides are now making that War Prism. Could be for harass or could be for a push.
Now, when it comes to the army compositions, they kind of alluded to it. They touched on it a little bit, but from Blink Stalker, you do switch into Charger Archon. Charger Archon as the Charger Archon Immortal as the main composition. Based on the amount of Zealots, though, you do want more Archons. So right now, I believe we have 2 Archons for herO. I don't think Classic has any, though. Without Archons of his own, then a higher Zealot army from herO will be able to outtrade.
Even this is 66 to 60 probes, 98 to 100 army supply.
The army's the same.
Is somewhat close. Classic is just a little bit ahead in that, but herO's about to catch up.
Okay. The army.
Classic has so many more Stalkers.
You got to be careful. Once the Zealots rush in, you know, that charge, it's got a cooldown, right? So you can't just do it forever. He tears that down and makes a wall. herO's going to slide over to beat him here.
Do you really want to attack here? I don't think
feel
so.
like this is just a really bad idea to attack. I just look at what herO's got, and I'm like, no way in hell should you hit that.
Yeah, I'm okay with poking like that, but if you do a full engage through the choke, it's not going to work out. And in fact, herO's coming out. He has a really high-quality army. He pushes forward right now.
He takes out the Archons.
Very strong damage.
Archons go down, Immortals get lifted. A Classic, he's in danger.
So many herO is
oh my god, the Phoenixes, they pop up.
Everything out. Classic now on the run, and I don't think
the MVP Phoenixes, they were just chilling there, lifting.
Looks like a DT does hit here from Classic as well. At the same time, he's going to get a few probe kills, but well, actually, herO does turn around, and Classic takes another base during this time.
Yeah, the DT is huge. That DT.
Yeah, that was a very dominant fight. Now, what's scary here? Nice pick up by Classic, out positioning herO.
Out of here, that's huge.
Okay, well, he's going to get some of it out, as many as it can fit in that recall.
Now, a couple of things. On the one hand, Classic, he was able to kill a base, he was able to kill some of the economy, but Classic, he lost the fight. And Classic, he lost the Immortals, he lost the Archons, he lost the Zealots, he lost the main core of his army. He's stuck with purely a gateway composition. herO's composition is superior in every way.
So hard when he finally gets there.
Yeah, he has got like a 35 army supply.
Like, herO just wants to A move.
A lot of the units of Classic are just running around the map like these Zealots right now. So he's definitely not going to be able to take a better engagement right here. Well, if he fights only a little portion of the army, maybe he can.
Okay, he's going to be able to chase that away. We've got another attack over here, but it is denied at the base. herO needs to get in there and actually do the damage, but at the same time, he wants to be careful to not be punished by a counterattack. He's going to send some of his army down here to try to fight this. Meanwhile, the rest of it is hitting the third base.
Oh, this attack from herO is looking
here he finally gets across the map. Look at this. Look at how many Archons and Immortals there are.
Nexus and is going to cause it to die if he just right-clicks it for a moment. Looks like he
the F2.
This Archon Immortal army looking so strong.
See here with like 3 observers and 2 war prisms with the army.
Very quickly as well.
Okay, we've got the attack coming down here now, and
yeah, there's a defensive warp in. And here he has enough. He has enough.
Oh my gosh, he's trying to blink away right now as herO's clearing the top of the map. herO getting closer and closer to eliminating Classic from this tournament.
Yeah, you can see the Zealots spilling in over here to tank for the Stalkers, and Classic is going to lose whatever is remaining over here. Meanwhile, those Immortals, the Archons way in the north are all still alive. Classic has 1 hidden base in the top right, 3 base versus 3 base.
That is wild, but the army supply is so much in herO's favor. Although Classic actually still has more probes, that isn't going to translate into army so easily. He's not mining that much. Now the attack of herO continues forward. These Archons coming in, he's going to unpower a lot of gateways. Oh my gosh, that tasteless pylon goes down.
He's going to push this up into the main. And I mean, I just don't know what Classic can do at this point in time. He doesn't have enough, I think, to counterattack and win, so on some level, he's just feeding into the army. Meanwhile, even with the hidden base unfound, I think herO could just push it to the main and close this game out.
Now, don't forget, there are some DTs out here. Maybe he can be sneaky and pick off some observers. I see him targeting them. He got 1 out of 5. He's got 4 more to go.
Okay, herO is now going to push up into the main, and I think
herO's not aware it's up right.
He's going to try to do the same, and it gets blocked off. I think this game is over, Artosis.
It definitely looks that way. His Dark Templars are dealing a lot of damage right there, but they're getting picked off as the observer comes down. Everything looking great here for herO as he's eliminating the main base. GG! And that makes herO the champion here of the RSL Offline Finals, having won Season 3, coming in great shape. Classic unable to win his 3rd tournament this year in RSL. Oh my gosh, what a finals. herO pulling it back from the jaws of defeat. Of course, going over to congratulate Classic on his 2nd place.
Is that all they have?
And with this, herO is your champion. Give it up for herO.
GG, well played. herO is going to be our champion. When it came to the series, when it came to that final game, of course, it came down to that big attack outside of the 3rd base of herO, where Classic committed. As a reminder, Classic had the small army, had the worst composition. He had less Archons, less Immortals. But the MVPs of that fight, it was crazy, by the way. The MVP of that fight were the Phoenixes. Remember, we saw herO coming from behind, and the casters, they were talking about how, like, these Phoenixes, they're useless. He wants to get rid of them. But they were actually pivotal when it came to that fight because they lifted the Immortals for the entire entirety of that fight. If you remember, 2 immortals were lifted and the Phoenix was left alone. Like Classic never targeted down those Phoenixes, so the immortals were lifted for the entirety of that fight, and herO just dominated that fight. And from then on forward, Classic would never win head on. He was forced to counterattack, just run by his counterattacks. He was able to kill a base, kill some workers, but he could never fight herO's main army because of how brutal that fight was. GG. GG, well played.
It looked so bad for him at first as well in the first couple games. I mean, it seemed like he just didn't have an answer to the proxy robo stuff that Classic kept throwing out.
Not that he hard countered.
Get the defenses, and then slowly but surely adapted over the series, able to make it work, just find out the right recipe really to deal with this, and then even bringing out some own shenanigans of his own throughout. I mean, just a ridiculous series overall. It's really cool to see him continue that momentum from the last season.
The games just kept getting better as the series continued on, and honestly, I was a little bit scared watching backstage as he lost 2 games in a row to a proxy robo play. It kind of felt like Classic was just going to keep doing that forever unless herO finally figured out how to get that situation under control. In the end, he was able to defend the push. He was able to bring the series back, a 4-3 victory for herO.
And we have the man himself on
win his interview.
Well, welcome herO to the couch. Congratulations on winning. How does it feel to come away with the offline finals victory?
일단 김준호 선수 승리 축하드리고요. 또 오랜만에 이렇게
We'll zoom in for this one.
오프라인 대회 와서 오프라인 대회 우승을 하셨는데 지금 소감이 어떠신지 궁금합니다.
일단 우승을 해서 너무 좋기는 한데 제가 연습 과정에서 우려했던 결과가 나온 것 같아서 좀 안타까워요. 그 연습 과정에서 로고 맞춤이 없는 것 같더라고요. 그래가지고 전진 로보가 좀 많이 나올 거라 예상했는데 역시 그래가지고 좀 게임 양상이 좀 아쉬웠던 것 같아요.
Yeah, it definitely feels good to win, but that being said, actually in the process of practice, I noticed that there's no proper counter for the proxy robo, so I was afraid that might happen in this series. So yeah, it was. I think the fear is actually happened, but somehow I managed to figure it out. So yeah, I'm glad that I did.
So I want to ask a little bit more about that because after game 3, you lost 2 games in a row to the proxy robo. What was going through your head when you saw that again in game number 4?
마침 그 얘기가 나와서 말인데 사실 3세트부터 2세트를 연속으로 거의.
I mean, remember, game 4 was on Mothership. He went for the blind counter. He went for a robo himself.
어떠셨는지.
그냥 저도 전진 로보 해야겠다 생각이 들었던 것 같아요.
It just made me feel like, well, I should do proxy myself.
Yeah, which is what happened.
Yeah, well, if you can't beat them, join
True.
them, as they do say. So that's about how it goes. I mean, herO, overall in these last couple seasons, I mean, you had the crazy season, crazy grand finals versus Maru.
There
in
is no
season 3,
counter.
and now here as well,
Copium.
a full 7 set. I mean, how does it feel to be able to go through these insane long series? How do you keep coming up with new things to bring out, and how do you stay resilient in all of these matches to bring it out in the final games?
사실 오늘도 그렇고 이제 우승하셨던 이제 시즌 3 때도 조성수 선수와의 7세트 접전 끝에 또 이제 풀꽉 접전 끝에 이렇게 우승을 또 하셨잖아요. 계속해서 이렇게 치러지는 결승전에서 이 풀꽉에서 좀 살아남으시는 좀 비결이 어떤지, 좀 어떤 좀 마음가짐을 하셨기 때문에 좀 우승할 수 있었는지 궁금하네요.
아무래도 그냥 간절함 아닐까 싶어요. 안 좋은 상황에서도 놓지 않고 간절하게 임하는 게 좀 좋은 결과로 이어지는 것 같습니다.
To sum up, I think it's desperation. I mean, you know, not giving up until like it's over. I think that's the key. You know, no matter how the situation is like grim for me, so I think the desperation keeps like bringing me the fire in me. So yeah.
Well, it's a great way to end the year for you, herO. It's December. We're about to turn a new page in 2026, and you just won the RSL Offline Finals. What are your ambitions for 2026, and do you have any words you want to say to your fans?
이제 올해 마지막 대회 또 우승을 또 장식하셨기 때문에 이제 또 새로운 이제 내년에 2026년이 기다리고 있는데 내년에 좀 마음가짐과 또 목표 그리고
Home Story Cup.
팬분들께 좀 포부를 좀 말씀해 주신다면 어떤 게 있을지 궁금합니다.
일단 작년 EWC 성적이 제 생각과는 다르게 나와가지고 이번 시즌도 걱정이 많았는데 첫 포문을 그래도 잘 연 것 같고 다음 시즌 잘할 수 있을 것 같고 오늘 늦은 시간까지 아침 일찍부터 아니 점심부터 늦은 시간까지 끝까지 응원해주신 팬분들 정말 감사드리고 이런 좋은 의미로 좋은 대회 열어주셔서 관계자분들에게도 감사한 것 같습니다.
Yeah, last season, especially in AWC, I didn't get the result when I wanted, and so I think winning this actually means a good fresh start. So yeah, I mean, it feels good about the next season as well. And that being said, thank you for all the fans who's been watching from noon all the way to like 8 p.m. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and also thank you RSL for hosting this event. Yeah, so I'm really grateful for it.
Well, thank you so much, herO, and congratulations yet again for winning.
Yeah, I was like, let's take one more.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
블리자드에서 보고 있다면
아.
투자 메타 좀 바꿔줬으면 좋겠어. 이게 너무 하면서도 재미가 없어가지고 네, 그렇습니다.
Yeah, if Blizzard is watching, I really want you guys to patch and fix the PvP meta right now. It's so boring. I need to like, you guys please change the PvP meta, please.
Well, hopefully Blizzard is listening. Hopefully they'll take that into account here. But again, congratulations once again on your victory. Honestly, it's amazing to see you win.
herO says boring. I say entertaining. Yo, this was a chaotic best of 7. Like, it depends what you're looking for there, right? Like, if you really want a macro game, then sure, we barely got that. But if you want some like high octane, non-stop nonsense, then we got it, Pat. We got it.
Win in spring. Ooh, a nice ambiguous time period for us to plan this
that's
out.
excellent. Yes.
We unlocked the good ending, guys.
Spring
so guys,
2026.
thank you so much for your support. We couldn't have done this without you guys. I think we're thanking Archon first, right? Let's see who we thank first. The graphic will tell me. There it is, Archon Studio. Guys, get the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. I know I still got to do my Christmas shopping. You probably still got to do yours. Go buy those figurines. They could make good stocking stuffers. They could make, if you get all of them, they could go right under the tree.
Very quickly, Tasteless, he's like, get them for Christmas. They don't come out for quite some time. Like we get pre-orders in January. What are you talking about? Yeah, get them for Christmas. Kappa.
We are also grateful for Pulsar. These guys make the best gaming gear you could ask for. They are based in...
For those that are actually curious about Archon Studios, again, pre-orders, I believe, are going to be released in January, or going to be available in January, alongside the roadmap for the release of the year of 2026. We also get the rulebook in January as well. So January is a big month for the miniatures game. If you're interested, that is the month to pay attention to when it comes to news, when it comes to upcoming content for the Archon Studios. Christmas 2035, yes.
But you gotta check them out. Yeah, that one, that much we know for sure. And we really appreciate their support. So shout out to Pulsar, and thank you to them for setting up the amazing booth that we had here at our event. Now go on to the Patreon. If you've been watching all year and you haven't signed up on the Patreon, well, shame on you, but there's still a chance. You can sign up right now. We've got all sorts of different tiered memberships depending on where you are able to give financially. And with each tier, we give you, I guess, you could say more access to, like, you know, the tournament. You could vote on maps or player guest spots.
Return with best of 14 PvP for life to cost.
Like that. So consider going there.
No.
We would love to earn.
Get me out of here, man. Get me out
You
of
guys
here.
have done fantastically for RSL so far. I mean, look at this.
I mean, best of
wonderful
15,
event.
right?
Yeah.
3 great seasons, Tasteless. You and your team have put on just a wonderful show and added a lot to the scene this year.
Thank you, and thank you guys for watching and sticking with us. We will be back next year. I hope you have an amazing holidays, and we will see you in spring sometime in 2026. We love you. Bye-bye.
There it is. GG. GG. Well played. Whew. Congratulations to herO for becoming our RSL champion. Congratulations, as that is going to be rounding off the final premier tournament of the year of 2025. I say that we do still have the Platinum StarCraft end of year event that's going to be around the corner coming into December. If you remember, Home Story Cup is around the corner next year. We have Star Zagora next year as well, and we have potential for announcements in regards to EWC. Still no confirmation, but coming into 2026, we want to be positive. And of course, we have RSL next year as well. When it comes to the Rival StarCraft League, again, there is the Patreon where you can support them, of course, when it comes to their endeavors, when it comes to their event. Hopefully, they do take feedback. There's definitely room for growth when it comes, and room for improvement when it comes to their main seasons and their end of year event as well. So hopefully they're able to learn, grow, and improve over time when it comes to the 2026 season of RSL. Otherwise, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. We should be back tomorrow with a replay cast of the Wardy TV Monday, and Tuesday will be Sparkling Tuna Cup. So our regular weekly schedule is right around the corner. We are live every single day on a on a daily basis, every single day. Quickly checking our schedule. I'm not too sure if it's updated yet. It's not quite updated for this week. But again, tomorrow is going to be the Wardy TV Monday broadcast. We have Sparkling Tuna Cup on Tuesday. We have Pigstar Cup on Wednesday. We have SCL StarCraft Evolution on Thursday. The Podcast on Thursday, and we have Friday off for the time being. So Friday is going to be our 1 day off next week. Otherwise, we have MSO on Saturday and Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday. So again, plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft throughout the course of the week. I might actually change StarCraft Evolution to Friday just so we have one cast a day. Tempted. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it comes to our content. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Wardy TV Monday. If you want some more StarCraft content here on the CranKy Ducklings, exclamation mark socials in the chat. You get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. We are live every single day for the most part, on a daily basis. Again, we've been casting content, casting StarCraft full time for the past 5 years. Coming up on longer than that, actually. It's more than 5 years at this point. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft on the channel. YouTube is the place to be. We do stream on YouTube at the same time, and we upload on YouTube on a daily basis, so plenty of VODs. If you want some more content, if you want to watch, say, RSL Day 1. If you missed out on yesterday's broadcast, if you missed out on the earlier series, then YouTube is the place to be to check out those VODs. Or, for example, the Podcast, which is our weekly talk show where we talk all things StarCraft. We have the Turtle Tussle, Pigstar Cup, What Is It Monday, plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. And hey, if you want to tune into more of what we saw, like, for example, when it came to this finals, I think they were a little bit surprised about herO's build, or this event, herO's build when he came to the gate into Cybercore the main base into the low ground expansion. I mean, he does that very commonly in open cups, and we're able to know that, recognize that, because we cast StarCraft every single day. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast, more than anyone else. We have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality as well. So if you're interested, you can follow us. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the end of year. Enjoy the holidays, right? Christmas is around the corner. New Year's as well. Crazy, papi, crazy. Coming into New Year's, we should be easing up a little bit and having a bit of a leaner broadcasting schedule. We should have a bit of a break coming into New Year's, but tentative on that one. We'll see. We shall see. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the patrons. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. We have our own Patreon where we do earn we do earn money, and it all goes towards our tournaments. It all goes towards the prize pools of our tournaments for the Tuna Cup, for SDO, and for MSO as well. It's all done via Patreon, so you can support us there if you wish. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego. See you next time.